I worked on 2 feature documentaries while I was going to film school, and sometimes filming both in the same week, where I'd go work crazy hours, 12 hours a day, and then leave that one and go right on to the next one.
Now, this is the Illegal Hope. This is the one you started in film school?
Yes.
Talk about what it was like making this.
We basically just pointed the camera and found a story. We didn't write a script prior. We wrote it afterwards.
But what attracted you to this subject?
To that particular subject? Well, Coretta Scott King had died in about 3 months following her death. It was always in the media about how this hospital was taking advantage of people, and I had been a patient there 12 years prior, and I had seen a lot of interesting things happen. A lot of people get better from things that they were told they couldn't get better from.
Now, this hospital was in Mexico.
Yes, correct, Rosarito.
How did you end up in a hospital in Mexico?
I ended up there because in the United States they said there was no hope to get better, and I had been bedridden for a year, and I was young.
With what disease?
I had systemic candidiasis, a normal intestinal yeast that gets out of whack, and I spent about a year in bed, dropped to 119 pounds, and I found a book and called the lady who wrote the book, and she was still alive 10 years after with cancer. She had been at that hospital, so I went down there, and today I'm better. So once Coretta Scott King had died in this particular hospital, and it got a lot of bad publicity, I decided to go down and give the patients a voice.
So in the film, you're saying that if you have cancer in this country, there's a certain prescribed treatment.
Yeah, there's only 3 legal things in the U.S., even though the FDA will say it's not true. It's chemo, radiation, and surgery, or any combination of the 3. It's not legal to do anything else, and a doctor cannot say we can help you with these other methods or protocols or whatever you want to call them. And so
meaning you can't check yourself into a clinic per se and undergo holistic treatment?
No, not for cancer.
But you could do that on your own, right? You could not.
Yeah, you can not tell anybody, but unless you have a kid underage, there's a lot of kids in the United States that are taken from their parents, and they go through the judicial system, and they're forced into chemo and radiation. And what this film is trying to say is, we should be able to have our own choice. And I mean, everybody wants to live. Why do we have, you have 1,000 different or 2,000 different types of restaurants out there you can choose from. We don't have 3 restaurants. When you get sick, why is there only 3 things that you can use when you have cancer?
How did your experience working on that film affect you?
It was tough. I built really strong relationships with the family, and so I cried a lot making the film. I watched a mother, and I have children too, so it was even tougher to watch, they watched their mom die. And, it was just very challenging. And some of the decisions that they made, I wouldn't have made the decisions that they made, but it wasn't my choice. And as a filmmaker...
Like what? You're talking about decisions the family made for her treatment?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the mother, at one point during the film, the mother, she never wanted to go the chemo radiation route. And the daughters were young. They were 16 and 18, and they,
They put pressure on it to...
They made the choice, yeah. The mother didn't want it, and she said she never she had lost a brother to chemo and radiation, and a lot of family members had cancer over the years, and she, in the film, she gets better in a 3-week period, and then goes home, and outside of her home is these giant cell towers, and there's probably a possibility that they affect the system. And anyways, she went downhill really fast, and the family made the decision that they were going to do chemo and radiation, anything to keep her alive. And it was tough.
What's your personal, having gone through this journey making the film, do you have like a strong opinion about somebody with cancer, and do you think they have the right to kind of like go out gracefully, as it were, as opposed to like survive at all costs?
Sure. If I didn't have a strong opinion, I wouldn't have made the film. There was a lot of money out of pocket, and it was I believe it's my system, and nobody's going to tell me what to do for my treatment. And I would leave the country. I've left the country before to get treatment that wasn't legal. I'd do it again. And you watch people with cancer, and they go for chemo and radiation, and it just slowly destroys their body. And I believe that you should do treatments that help to promote the body and to help it heal. And when you do very destructive things, it's hard for, most people can't survive that. And so, it's just a slow death, very painful. And I think sometimes people, actually while making this film, one of the girls who was going to compose it, 3 of her best friends, all in their 30s, came down with cancer. 2 of them chose chemo and radiation. The third one did the research and found out there was really no hope. And so she did no treatment at all. And the other 2, I believe, are now dead. And she's fine.
The one who did no treatment at all?
Right.
Huh. Wow. Now,
I mean, I can't say she didn't do any treatment at all. She got into yoga and she got into eating right. She didn't do any treatment.
So she
changed her life.
Her lifestyle.
Right. Because there's people in the film that have made it 10 years. One of the ladies, Norma, who invited them, she's 10 years and she's better. But she changed her entire life, even moved to Colorado. She's, totally into health.
What's happening with this film now, Legal Hope?
It's been a tough road. We premiered it in August of 2008. We had about 350 people come, and we had an amazing response to the film. And then I've been trying to get distribution, and it's very difficult. A lot of people don't want to touch the topic. Really, the passion behind making this film was something even that reaches far beyond Coretta Scott King, where all her bad publicity of her death there, and they never even treated her. But
she got there, she's already pretty advanced stage, right?
Right. And she died, and then it was closed down. But my real reason why I spent so much money making it was in 1995 when I was a patient there. I didn't have the money. I went twice. I went for 3.5 weeks the first time, and 5.5 weeks, I guess, the second time. And someone paid for my hospital stay, so about $26,000. And I got a note in it. They didn't want to thank you. They told Dr. Donsbaugh, they didn't want me to know who paid. And so I said, well, how do I say thank you? And Dr. Donsbaugh said that you need to go out and you need to help people for the rest of your life.